Okay. So wanted to take just a few moments today to talk to you about a service that has been launched here at Definiti by the name of Definiti Direct. And what Definiti Direct is a payroll integration service that we can now offer to our clients. And part of the reason why we found it so important to offer this type of service to our plan sponsor clients, are listed here. Plan sponsors need to be efficient in running their business every day. They're constantly striving to find services that are of value to their organization that will allow them to focus on really items during the course of the business day that will allow them to focus on items and responsibilities that allow them to drive their business and drive revenue forward. They need partners that will provide them complete and accurate services specific to their 401k retirement plan. And they also need expertise. Oftentimes, plan sponsors, small or mid-sized business owners may not have dedicated HR staff, dedicated finance staff, dedicated payroll staff. So for all of these reasons, we thought there was a great opportunity to offer a payroll integration service in tandem with the services that Definiti provides in partnership with its key record-keeping partners. So to that end, we decided to create Definiti Direct, which is our payroll integration service. So part of the reason why Definiti Direct is an important offering for plan sponsors right now, you can see we put together a very basic case study. So if you have a small or mid-sized business owner, let's say that they're paying an administrative staff, let's say they're paying them $50,000 a year, total compensation and benefits, about $24 per hour. There's approximately on average, there's about 2 hours for every payroll cycle that a plan sponsor spends on either curating payroll and census data, contribution data for the plan, correcting data, reviewing data, and so on. That equates to about 104 hours per year for a plan sponsor that's remitting one biweekly payroll file. That's nearly $2,500 per year, not including the corrections and errors that oftentimes occur in the payroll process. And not for nothing, but this responsibility is typically taken on by someone who doesn't have expertise in the retirement plan space, may not be a specialist on retirement plans. In addition, all of these hours that they spend during the course of the year putting this information together, which may or may not be accurate and may or may not be timely, you still have to go ahead and really recap all of this information for the year-end data collection process, for compliance testing and 5500 filing. So validation still needs to be done. So you're spending all of this time, plan sponsors are spending all of this effort. It's time out of, productive time for their associates in, really attending to this menial task. So, most importantly, when we take a look at why this is such an important service for clients is what happens if they don't get it right? What happens if a plan sponsor has inaccurate information or untimely information in the plan? On the screen here, I actually put in a screenshot of what I refer to as the brag sheet. The Employee Benefit Security Administration actually refers to it as their annual fact sheet. It's actually a 4-page report that they collect and put together every year that shows all of the enforcement actions, fines, and assets recovered into plans, for plans that have compliance defects or failures for them during the year. The most common of which is within the payroll and census contribution and data remittance process. So there can be penalties and fines associated with, incorrect or inaccurate data and the corrections that are associated with them. But perhaps even more importantly, as the EBSA and the IRS and DOL have stepped up enforcement actions, and there are more and more audits being done every year. One thing that I always like to remind advisors and plan sponsors of is that if your lottery number comes up and you're one of the fortunate, many who get to entertain an IRS or DOL audit on your plan every year, you're initially going to get a letter from the Department of Labor that lists out, between 40 and 50 different items that they want to see up front before they even stop into your office in order to begin the audit process. Of those 40 plus items that are required up front, only one of them is specific to investments and investment process in the plan. More than half of the items on the list are specific to the payroll and census data contribution process on the plan. So this is something that's being taken a look at, at the highest levels. This is, and consider it this way, when you take a look at the EBSA fact sheet, this is a revenue driver for the IRS and DOL. So it's not like they're going to be pulling back on the numbers of audits. That number is only going to get greater over time. So with Definiti Direct, our payroll integration service, and that can be utilized by Definiti's TPA clients, as well as our 316 clients through our wholly owned 316 entity, the Fiduciary Studio. It's a complete 360 integration via API. What that means is it's a round trip between the payroll vendor and the record keeper. So not just upfront enrollment information and compensation information, but also deferral changes and so on. Complete 360 automated process. We currently have 7 connected record keepers in the program, with 4 additional record keepers that will be up and running, in the July-August timeframe. In order for Definiti Direct to work, you need to be with not only a connected record keeper, but also connected payroll vendor. So you see the list of the existing payroll vendors with whom we're connected: ADP Run, ADP Workforce Now, ADP Total Source, Paychex, Paylocity, and QuickBooks Online, not the QuickBooks desktop version, just the online edition. But between those 6 different payroll vendors, that represents 75% of working Americans. So pretty good coverage in the payroll services with which we're currently connected. There are also a number of different payroll software systems with independent payroll vendors with whom we're currently connected. Okay, so if you do have a local or regional payroll firm with whom you're working, provided they're not utilizing a proprietary software, if they're utilizing an out-of-the-box payroll software program, we may be able to provide connectivity with them as well. The benefits of this program: number one, it's hands-free. With the API and the automatic transition, there needs to be no buttons pushed, no downloads, or uploads necessary from the plan sponsor. With an API, it's a direct outreach to the payroll vendor. Once a new file is out there, it's automatically transmitted to the record keeping organization. It's accurate. It eliminates any timing issues and reduces errors. And perhaps most importantly in the process, it's completely secure. So obviously there will still continue to be errors in the process, but that's basically going to be at the plan sponsor's end. It's still the old story of garbage in, garbage out. If incorrect information is input with the payroll vendor, that's going to transmit through to the record keeping platform. But what this process does eliminate is the human intervention that you typically see from end to end after the plan sponsor input that you oftentimes see in a manual payroll upload program. The program, Definiti Direct, is inexpensive. In most cases, it is less expensive than the case study that we showed earlier. So that time and effort that's taken away from the person who's tasked with this responsibility day to day from the plan sponsor, they get to concentrate on the business of running the business every day. It's compliant and ensures timely processing. So many plan sponsors will only remit their contributions on a biweekly, semi-monthly, or monthly basis, even though they may have weekly payroll files. Now those contributions and that census information is updated, almost on an on-demand manner. And then finally, it's efficient. There's quick setup. Oftentimes, if you're looking to establish payroll connectivity and integration with a service, it can take weeks or if not months to set that up. And there are oftentimes significant fees associated with that programming. The setup through Definiti Direct, in some cases, takes as little as 2 business days. With testing, we'll have you up and running in about a week. So again, allows plan sponsors to focus on the business of running their business every day. So with that, really just wanted to give folks a very high-level overview of this service that we provide in tandem with some of our key record-keeping partners and a number of payroll vendors. If you do need more information specific to Definiti Direct, I encourage you to reach out to your regional Definiti retirement sales consultant. They'd be delighted to run a proposal for you and to discuss in more detail exactly how this service works. Thank you so much. And Elke, I'll hand it back over to you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Thomas. That's great, valuable information. Obviously, we're really excited about Definiti Direct, and we're looking forward to sharing that with lots of our advisors here on the call. Before we introduce our next speaker with Fidelity, I did want to just do a quick reminder and let people know that Definiti Retirement Academy is offering 2 tracks today, an advisor track and also a plan sponsor track. If you happen to be a plan sponsor and that's what you intended to watch, there's a link in the chat. So I would encourage you to check that out. But remember, all of our sessions, both advisor and plan sponsor track, will be recorded and available on the website later on today or later on this next week. So just keep that in mind.